Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of SacTown Movie Buffs. Once again, I'm Kier, and this is Jason. And today we actually are going to be doing something a little special. We're actually going to be interviewing the director of a film that we actually reviewed a few weeks ago, which was East LA Interchange, which was directed by Betsy Kalin. It was a film that we both enjoyed. We both loved it. It was a great documentary. And so we're going to have her on the show in just a few moments here, and just ask her a couple series of questions just in terms of, her inspiration for the film, and try to get a little bit more understanding about, what I guess kind of what caused her to want to make this film, and kind of figure out a little bit more about the people that she interviewed and the people that were in the film, and just get a little bit of better understanding is basically what we're going to be doing. And I say without further ado, we just get right into it. So we'll bring her in just a second, and then we'll go ahead and start our interview. So just 1 second here. We'll go ahead and bring this down, and we'll bring her in. Let's see here. And there she is. How you doing today, Betsy?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
Good. Well, thank you for joining us. We appreciate you taking time out of your day to let us ask you a series of questions. They'll all be softballs. We're not, we keep it light and fun. We're not going to get too crazy with you or anything like that. We just, like I said, Jason and I, we really both enjoyed your film. We thought it was an excellent filmmaking. And we both got a lot of understanding as being Sacramento natives, and have actually traveled. Both of us go down to LA quite often, and I learned a lot. It was really educational, really informative, and so I think that was kind of the purpose of us wanting just to get a little bit more understanding about it, kind of like your thought process of going into the film and that kind of stuff. So well, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and just kick it off and maybe just ask you a couple series of questions, if you don't mind. So my first question was just kind of essentially, what was your inspiration for this film?
Yeah, so the executive producer of the film, Eric Waterman, his family's from Boyle Heights. Okay. And so that he was really excited about showing the story of Boyle Heights because he had a personal connection to it. And then he brought me in, and actually my cousin taught in Boyle Heights. So I knew about the neighborhood too, and I'm also Jewish, and they had like a huge Jewish population back in the day. And so that's how I first got into the project. But the thing that really interested me about the neighborhood was just how diverse and multicultural it is. And I wanted to look at that, and then also this long history of activism. I mean, that's, I think, what really makes it truly unique in the U.S. is, to have this history of activism from the 1940s till today, and then just chart that over time and just look at the different policy decisions that impacted the neighborhood, as well as, of course, the freeways, and, why eventually the neighborhood lost a lot of people to out-migration, because of redlining. So that was really interesting to me too.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's great. That's great. And then I was, some of the interviews that you did, were they all, how long was the film shot over? How long did it take you to, I guess, from the beginning to the end? So
yeah, so actually the whole process was 10 years from the beginning to the end. So you actually get to see a lot of the changes in the neighborhood around gentrification and displacement starting to happen as we were shooting. So it was a long process, and a lot of that was due to funding. It's an independent documentary, and so it took a long time to raise the funds, and we would have to stop. And of course, I worked on other projects during that time too. So that was part of it. And actually, we won 10 awards at different festivals, and I say that it's one award for each year that we worked on the film. So we have 10 awards.
The fruits of the labor, 10 years, 10 awards. That's a pretty good balance there. Well, that's awesome. Well, that's great. And then I know, Jason, I think you had a few questions to ask as well.
Oh yeah, how did you the people that were interviewed for the film, how did they come into the picture? Did you know any of them, or did you put an ad out, or a lot of those people were really fascinating characters, I thought.
Yeah, great guesses. Those are exactly how I did it.
Oh, yeah.
I actually put an ad in the Jewish Journal, and back then I gave my home phone number, and so people would call me up at home and just say, "Hey, I'm from Boyle Heights," and I would talk to them there. And then we also went through alumni associations. So like the Roosevelt High School Alumni Association was really, really helpful.
Okay.
And then the Japanese American National Museum in Los Angeles had done an exhibit a few years prior to us working on the film. And so Sojin Kim was the curator of that. And so she came on board as an advisor and really pointed me to certain people she thought would be great.
Yeah,
Nice.
that is really awesome. Yeah, and what surprised me, and that's why I was kind of wondering, like, the people that you interviewed in the film, because it seemed like a lot of them were saying they had been in the neighborhood since like 1919 and 1920, and I was just like, wow, these people are they've been in that neighborhood for a really, really long time, and we were just kind of curious as to how you found those people, and and they had great stories. They had some really great stories about the changes in the neighborhood, and what I really liked about it was the span, going all the way back into like the early 1900s, and you kind of took us through all the different changes with the demographics and politics and redlining the districts, and obviously the interchange that was built right over their community and that sort of stuff, and it kind of just spanned through all the different decades. And so it makes sense why you said that it took 10 years to film it, because that's a lot of history. That's a lot of rich history and demographics that have changed over the years. So
yeah, it covers a lot of ground.
Exactly. I mean, it really does. I think, we would have loved if it could have been like a miniseries, like Boyle Heights, the miniseries, because there is so much rich history, as you said, in the neighborhood. And the people that we interviewed, I mean, they really feel like family. I mean, they're so warm and loving and insightful and really open to sharing their stories. So even though, in a lot of ways, it's a very serious documentary, there's still a lot of heart and a lot of laughs based on, the people who are in it.
Yeah. Definitely. I agree.
Yeah.
For sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. How did Danny Trejo come into the picture?
Yeah, Danny he's amazing. I mean, I can't say enough great things about Danny. I wanted him for this project because I knew that he had family from Boyle Heights, even though he himself didn't grow up there, but I knew he was really connected to the neighborhood, and he even worked there for a certain amount of time. So I actually got him through his manager. And just kept on, like you just keep following up. And Danny was so great when he showed up to do the voiceover narration. He wanted to watch the whole film. He was like so into the film, and he was like, "Can I watch more?" And I'm like, "Well, we don't have that much time with you, so maybe we'll do the voiceover, and then you can watch more, and I'll send you a copy." But yeah, he was just a wonderful person to work with.
Yeah, I met him at a convention. One time, and he's so nice, which he usually plays characters who are so scary, you know what I mean? And he looks so imposing on the screen, but he's so friendly.
We didn't ask him anything, and he said, "You know what, let me help you with fundraising." And he just grabbed the phone and made us a fundraising video, like without no prompt, no anything. Like he's just a great guy.
Wow, that is really cool. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so I had a couple questions, not so much related to the film, just in terms of I guess, how did you get into, filmmaking and directing and producing, and kind of your overall background, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I studied film at college, and then I went and got my MFA. So that's my profession, and I had worked in San Francisco on documentaries right after college, and I really loved it. And then when I moved to Los Angeles, I've worked on fiction films as well as nonfiction, but I just like documentaries because it's my passion for creating, social change and being able to have media that can make a difference and, activate people to do things. And of course, that's really important today. So that was really what I was focused on. And with documentaries, I just feel like, you can have these outreach and engagement campaigns after you make the film. And that's why East LA Interchange, I literally just had a screening the other day of the film. And we talked about gentrification in Portland. So we watched the documentary and then talked about its impact. So it's just really cool that it's so relevant even today.
Right. Yeah, it focuses on one neighborhood in one city, but the issues that it brings up are so universal.
Yeah.
Unfortunately and fortunately,
Yeah, it's basically inspiring. I see it as inspiring people in communities to take action all over the country. So no matter if, you're in Atlanta or you're in Portland or, you're in the Midwest, it's a film where you feel like, okay, well, we have the power to create change and this is kind of how to do it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because I got to imagine, similar situations are happening, or have happened in other cities, all across the U.S. There's probably other communities where I don't know if they've had freeways quite as big as that East LA Interchange that goes over their community, but redlining the districts and that kind of stuff is going on all over the country. Changing the demographics and that kind of stuff, and neighborhoods that were really affluent at one point in time, or neighborhoods that had a lot of diversity, and do the redlining of the districts and making more affordable housing for people to move out of the neighborhoods. I'm sure that change is probably all over the globe. I'm sure. So.
Yeah, it's definitely like similar issues are happening in Sacramento. So, it's also really relevant. And I know when they built the freeways there too, I think it also displaced communities of color.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's absolutely true. Yeah.
The arena, when they put the arena in downtown, it caused a lot of uproar also.
Yeah, and absolutely.
I live just like a mile away from the arena. So, we've been seeing the rent go up and up and up, and ever since that came in.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and it's, the gentrification is one of those things that was touched on in the documentary that is always so fascinating to me, because it's kind of twofold, because it's like, on one hand, you want the neighborhood to be cleaned up if there is crime or if there is violence and that kind of stuff, but not at the expense of you're losing the community and the richness and the closeness of that community. Like the local stores that were in Boyle Heights, and you don't want the Walmarts and the Walgreens and that sort of stuff that come into the neighborhood and then push out all the local stores that, the Hispanic stores and the Russian stores and the Japanese stores that were all part of that community that helped that community grow. And so it's always fascinating to me when people talk about gentrification. It's just like, yeah, on one hand, I understand that, you would want a Starbucks at the end of your corner. That way you don't have to drive 15 miles to the nearest Starbucks, but you don't want it to push out those local stores that have been there for 40, 50 years, and the mom and pop stores and that sort of stuff. And that's another thing that I've noticed that seems like it's happening, across the US as well. So,
You're exactly right. Everything that you said was right on. That's the story all across the U.S. And that's why you really need public policy. You need politicians to support with legislation to protect that from happening. And then you also need community activism. So it's a combination of all of those things to stop the displacement of residents, where developers are going in and just seeing money and, value, and not really seeing the things that, we community members would value, which was exactly what you said: the richness of the community, the diversity of the community, the local neighborhood places, that kind of thing.
Absolutely. No, great stuff. Great stuff. My next question is kind of what future projects are you going to be working on in the future? Because we were very, very interested to see what you're working on next. So.
Thank you. Actually, this year I was just nominated for a local LA Emmy for a documentary that I finished in December, called Vision 2030 Future of SoCal.
Okay.
And it looked at all of the issues like housing, transportation, good jobs, all of these issues that are facing Southern California in the next 10 years. And so that was really great. And then for the last couple of years, I've been working on a feature documentary called Dreaming in Somali. And it looks at the Somali community in Minneapolis, St. Paul. And shows these stories of like success and in the face of, you know, Islamophobia and racism, sexism, like all of these things that the community has struggled with, but yet, you know, are doing these amazing things and really contributing to the greater Twin Cities area.
Fascinating. Well, I got to tell you, they both sound very, very interesting and very intriguing to me. You know, whenever those are completed, I would have no problem reviewing those films as well. It sounds like something that I'm sure Jason would be interested in also, I would imagine.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Well, awesome.
That's great.
Did you have any other questions, Jason, or?
Oh, I was just wondering, who are some of your favorite because I love documentaries. Do you have any really influential documentary filmmakers that you look up to?
I mean, I love Errol Morris. So, I'm so excited to see his latest one. It's at Doc NYC coming up. Right. So yeah, he's one of my all-time favorite documentarians. So.
Same here. Yeah, Errol Morris and Herzog. I don't know, Herzog.
I mean, he's so cool.
Yeah, he's just his voice. I mean, you know, I would listen to him read anything. So yeah.
I know. Yeah, I try to see all of his screenings that he has here in LA, just so I can go to the Q&A afterwards and listen to him talk.
Nice. Yeah.
That's
awesome. Funny because Errol Morris was the first name I thought of when, you know, that's one of my favorite filmmakers. So yeah, great, cool.
Well, very cool. Well, we thank you very much for joining us. Like I said, we both really loved your film. We definitely look forward to any upcoming projects that you're working on. And as always, if there's anything you want us to review, send it our way. We will have no problem reviewing it for you. And of course, we'll throw it on our show as well. We definitely thank you, and we greatly appreciate it. And I strongly look forward to your next project. So.
Great. Well, if anybody's interested, they can check out our website for East LA Interchange, which is eastlainterchangefilm.com. And then my personal production company is called Itchy Bee Productions, and it's itchybproductions.com.
Okay. Yeah, we'll make sure we include the links down there at the bottom as well. So if anybody's interested, they can find you there as well. And we definitely urge anyone that's interested, definitely check out East LA Interchange. It's a great, riveting documentary, and I think you'll love it. So very informative and educational as well. So.
Thank you so much.
And entertaining.
And entertaining.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It doesn't feel like a homework assignment or a book project or anything like that. So it is very entertaining for sure.
Yeah.
Again, we thank you for joining us. We thank everybody for watching. As always, if you like the channel, we definitely urge you to subscribe and make sure you hit the bell notification so you don't miss any more updates. And we will be back again with more shows and hopefully some more interviews. And hopefully we'll get a chance to review some of her upcoming films as well. We thank you guys for joining us, and we hope you have a great day. Bye.
Thank you.